three tenets of Scrum: transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Here we focus on these three tenets, and these three tenets are our North Star to look upon to have a Scrum team which is true to Scrum framework and which is a successful team. Let us start with these three tenets: transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Hello, this is your business analyst and Scrum trainer Vijay Shekhar Shukla. I thank you that you are here, and by the time you will finish this video, not only will you be proficient in these three tenets of Scrum: transparency, inspection, and adaptation, you will also have a very good decision-making capability on how to participate in a Scrum team with confidence. So let's start. We start with the Scrum tenet, transparency. So how does a Scrum team achieves transparency? So transparency is achieved by the Scrum team by having visible artifacts, visibility in the artifacts, by having transparent events. And then there is shared understanding between the team members, and also there are visible boards. So let's start with visible artifacts. There are these three visible artifacts, which are product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment. All these three artifacts are living artifacts. So say, for example, product backlog is up to date and prioritized catalog of the issues of the project. And this is managed by the product owner. Having said that, other Scrum team members and the client is having a clear visibility on this. Sprint backlog is that catalog of issues which is taken up in the given sprint. Team updates the sprint backlog every day during a sprint. And then third one is the increment. Increment is the working product or the working project which is ready to be deployed to the client environment. All these artifacts, product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment, are kept. Transparent events. Scrum promotes transparent events, and these events are sprint planning, which happens before the sprint, a time-boxed event of something like 4 hours, daily Scrum, a time-boxed event of 15 minutes, and every day during this daily Scrum, the progress of the project is discussed. Sprint review, which is basically a demo event where client is provided the demo, and then retrospective, which is an internal team event. All these events ensure transparency, and all these events ensure clear communication within team members, with the client, and other stakeholders. Then the team is always having a shared understanding, and this shared understanding is achieved by having a clear definition of done, having a clear product goal. So time to time the team can align user stories, its product backlog items that they are moving towards the product goal. Similarly, the sprint goal. Sprint goal is what we achieve by the end of the sprint. Our movement towards the sprint goal is discussed in the daily Scrum. Then there are visible boards. The team members can see these boards are regularly updated. The team members can see the progress on this board, and these boards today can be managed and maintained by Agile tools like Jira or TFS Azure or CA Agile, etc. So this is about transparency. Now we move toward the second tenet of Scrum, which is inspection. So inspection. So how do we achieve inspection while we work on a Scrum project? Inspection is ensured via Scrum events. There are 4+1 Scrum events, frequent inspection of artifacts, and then there is a concept of cadence and time boxing. So in Scrum, there are 5 events: sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. So they count up to 4. And the 5th event is the sprint itself, which is a container event for all the other 4 events. While the team participates in the Scrum events, the progress is inspected, discussed, and deliberated upon. So say, for example, on a daily Scrum, individual team members discuss what we have done since yesterday, what I will do today, and what are the obstacles which I face. Similarly, in the sprint review, the team members demo the increment or demo the working product achieved up to this sprint to the client. So the client is also able to inspect the progress and provide the feedback. Team retrospective is an event where the team can look back, they can inspect upon or they can retrospect upon what has been done right, what has been done wrong, and what could be corrected. So these events are a time when formal and informal inspection towards progress and towards product and sprint goal can be done. Then there is frequent inspection of artifacts. The Scrum artifacts, product backlog, and sprint backlog are artifacts which progress with time. So these artifacts are, updated, refined, and improved upon time to time. And these artifacts are available to team members and to the client. Cadence and time box. The Scrum team follows a rhythm, and this rhythm is ensured by regular happening of these Scrum events. These events, not only they happen at regular intervals, they are time-boxed events. Now we move on to the third tenet of Scrum, which is adaptation. At the cost of revision, remember the three tenets of Scrum are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. If your team remains true to these tenets, and if the Scrum team follows inviolable principles of Scrum, does not violate Scrum, the team will move towards its product goal with predictability, and the success is near assured. So adaptation is achieved by empowered self-teams, by formal regular events where the team adapts, by immediate response to variances and obstacles. So Scrum team is an empowered team, and Scrum team is not controlled by a project manager or a director. Scrum team is having three roles: a Scrum Master, a product owner, and development team members. Scrum Master is the guardian of the Scrum framework, and he is the facilitator. He does not control or push the team. Since the team is empowered, they are able to adapt to the internal and external circumstances. The feedback from the client and the internal feedback which team may receive are acted upon with the speed. Then the formal regular events, the events which we discussed, sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective, is also a time to receive feedback and to adapt to the changing circumstances. There are team events which mandate client participation, say for example the sprint review. Then, as is the composition and soul of the Scrum team, the team responses to variances and obstacles with speed. So the team is agile, the team is nimble, and team is ready to work with the speed. And this is how a Scrum team remains true to three tenets, which is transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Remember these three tenets? These are your guiding tenets while you participate in a Scrum team. Doesn't matter what your role is. And if you remain true to these guiding tenets, and if you do not violate key principles of a Scrum, you become a valuable member of the Scrum team. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. This is your trainer, Vijay Shekhar Shukla, and I invite you to join my business analysis programs, my product management programs, my programs in Scrum.